Okay. So then Teddy reaches out, and what are you thinking about when he's calling you to come down to Virginia? And this was around what year was this?
91, 92.
So 91, 92. So has he finished doing the Michael Jackson album, and he's working on the Bobby album? Has he finished the Bobby album?
Yeah, he's working on BlackStreet first album.
Okay, okay, okay. So he calls you out. So did you think were you ready to leave Georgia to move out to Virginia, or what was your?
Oh yeah, I was ready to go.
Okay.
He picked me up from the airport. He sent his assistant to pick me up, and they brought me to the studio, brought me into the A room, and showed him I had arrived. They're like, good. He like turned around, like glad to see you. He said, I'm gonna talk to you in a minute. So they took me in the lounge while he was finished mixing one of BlackStreet songs. And then once he finished, he came in and talked to me, told me about what he want me to do. Showed me B room. Says is equipped it with he was on an Atari computer at the time, but he was running Logic. And he said, trust me, once you learn this, you're gonna put the Akai MPC down. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. So he showed me, and eventually I put the MPC in the closet.
Okay. So who was in Virginia back did you recognize anyone when you got to Virginia?
I recognized his bodyguard, Seafood, Markel. Who else was there at the time? Just Seafood and Markel. Seafood is his old bodyguard.
But there was no Bob wasn't there, because I know Bob was on the Bobby album, but Bob wasn't there, and Abstract.
No, Bobby had just finished, but I knew Bobby from Atlanta.
Okay. So no, but because when I spoke to John Marie, he was talking about all the, he said that Tammy Lucas and Mary Brown and Bernard Bell,
yeah,
everybody
Tammy
was.
Lucas. I remember Tammy Lucas was there too. So Seafood, Tammy Lucas, and Markel, Teddy's brother.
Okay. So
I met them three in New York.
Okay, so you guys so the first thing you were doing is starting to work on the Bobby album and stuff. Sorry,
BlackStreet. I got that after
BlackStreet.
Bobby.
Okay, the BlackStreet album.
Yeah.
So what did he bring you to particularly do on the album?
He just told me to work with this writer, one of the members in the group. He introduced me to Chauncey Black.
Okay.
We sat in I think Teddy had a Mercedes at the time. Teddy would give us songs to write to. So me and Chauncey would pen songs. And then, then after that, then I go in B room and do a beat. And then Chauncey and Levi would write to it. So, he introduced me to those two at first. And actually I met Joe Stonestreet, but Stonestreet didn't come to the studio until he was needed to do vocals.
Why is that?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
He just needed his me time.
Okay.
But I would see Levi and Chauncey there a lot, so they stayed in the studio.
Okay. So then which other tracks did you contribute? Did you do most of your contribution on that first album?
Well, I did a Baby Be Mine remix, but it got titled for somebody else's production. So when I asked him about it, he said, "Oh, my assistant put the wrong information down," and I was like, okay. So that was the first one, so I let that slide. Then the second album, I worked on Your Love, the joint called Your Love on there, and some more remixes.
Okay, yeah, no. So I've recognized your name from a lot of the BlackStreet stuff. But so from this first album, you do the first album. Then what else? First BlackStreet album. Then what else were you doing?
Oh, he would tell me, okay, I got Heavy D coming down. They need a remix for this song. He'll play it for me. And like, okay. Then I go in B room, do an idea, present it to him, and give it to him. And actually, I'm probably one of the few producers that Teddy would leave alone in the studio that wouldn't touch like a sound or anything. It was me and maybe Sprague. But all the other producers, he would come in and have to go behind and fix a snare or something like that. But I'm probably one of the only producers that he didn't have to do that to.
Did you bring Sprague with you, or how did Sprague?
Yeah, Sprague came. Sprague was our keyboard tech when we went to New York.
No, but when you went to Virginia, did you say Sprague, I'm going to Virginia, and he came with you?
After I got settled, I sent for Sprague, and I sent for my best friend Tim Smith, was kind of like my manager assistant at the time. So Sprague and Tim Smith. Once I got settled in my own place, I sent for those two. And
okay.
we was kind of like the Three Stooges.
Okay.
And then after that, once I got settled and I was getting ready to work on my own group, I sent for Diesel.
And it must have been hard because here he is, the first BlackStreet album did well, especially Before I Let You Go. And then he's still producing lots of different acts, then Rex and Effects. How does he have time then to start running a record label and stuff like that? So what were you guys doing in the interim? Were you still back into the production stuff, or?
Yeah, he had producers. Sometime I go to A room, Sprague will be in B room, Ty Fife will be in the other room.
Ty, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he had producers. Sprague, like I said, I mentioned Sprague. Then Ty had that New York flavor, and Sprague had a more melodic flavor than me because he's from the church.
Okay.
And then I kind of had that, like I could do a beat to make it sound exactly like Teddy. So, and actually we did that with a few labels.
And I guess that's probably. I think one of the things that we artists and producers could say, our name's not on the credit, but then I've spoken to some artists that say, that a label would say, if we get produced by Teddy Riley or produced by Babyface or Timbaland, it adds some extra spice to the label and to radio and to the public. So sometimes they would almost say, well, if you doing a production on a Teddy, if we don't have his name on it, we may not be able to push it as much as we could if we just put your name. Did you guys notice that, and how did you receive that when your credits would be? Because I've heard even some of the hitmen talk about how Puffy would have his name as a producer when he probably just came in and just says, I like that, and then after he's one of the producers. What was it like for you guys?
Yeah, well, I knew the game was mostly politics a lot. So they knew if they had Teddy Riley stamp on it, that it would either sell more, get more recognition, and we understood that. So I mean, he had built the name for himself. So sometimes we knew he had to put his stamp on him, but at the same time, we expect our stamp to be on there after his, and a lot of times that didn't happen.
Okay. You guys did riff. Judy had a boyfriend. Sorry.
Judy had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I think it's Judy had a boyfriend or something.
Judy had a boyfriend.
Yeah. Did you work on that? Did you work on that track? Okay.
Yeah, that's my. Actually, they got a riff. It's called Mucho Mix.
Okay.
Judy had a boyfriend, and on the title it said Mucho Mix.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because I when I interviewed Nitty, and he was saying, look, when they came out with their first album, they were all very pop, but when they came for the second album, they wanted to be like Jodeci. They really wanted that sort of Teddy sort of stuff, and they went with these kind of tracks, which the label says, okay, we'll push it, but it's but we so, and that was one of the tracks that came out and stuff. What was another track that you kind of did? Not with Rick, but anyone that you're really proud of in those early days?
Really, well, all of them I'm proud of.
Yeah,
like
which one? Like which
mix remix,
okay.
And the Queen Latifah Just Another Day remix, the Heavy D, it's like Mary J remix.
Which Mary J remix? Which one?
It was the Changes and My Love, but then again I didn't get no credit. but if it was put on, my assistant put the wrong info on there.
So that changed. That My Love, because I could tell he was doing a vocal on that, or was that you? Who did the vocal of on the My
Actually,
Love?
the vocals on that one is actually me, and I think Teddy may have added a few notes, but I didn't get any credit.
Okay, okay. And I wonder if this is Uptown pushing the remix based on the producer's name and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that he drew them in with his name. I'm trying to see that he get David Wynn any credit on that one. I don't know, but I know David Wynn should have been on there.
But the thing is that we don't have CDs anymore, but your name, Sprug, David Wynn, Ty, all your names are very familiar to New Jack fans who read the credits. So so from us, it's not as if we don't know who you guys are because we read the credits. So we see the names working along. So we see Teddy's name there, but we'd see you guys alongside in various different parts of the production of those tracks. But it was this because he'd left BlackStreet, went back to Guy. Did you guys? Because I thought I saw your name on some of the Guy 3 tracks.
Yeah, actually, when he dismantled 911 album, he put the Misery song, which was 911. He put it on Guy. He did Rescue Me. We did that one. He put that on Guy.
Oh, Rescue Me, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was another song. I think he took like 3 or 4 of our songs off the 911 album and put it on Guy. But the vocals didn't sound nothing like Diesel vocals.
Yeah.
It was good songs though, but Diesel gave it that extra feel to it.
Wow. Okay. So after that happened, though, how did it? So what did happen? What did that do to the relationship between you guys?
We after that, I think Diesel stayed. Cause everybody was paying their own bills at the time, so Sprague and Diesel stayed in Virginia Beach, and I moved back to Georgia. But we kept in touch. Me, Sprague, and Diesel. Slim moved back to Florida, and we kept in touch.
And then, so what did you end up doing when you moved back to Georgia?
I started doing Teddy would call me every now and then. I need a song, A Marie. I did a joint on A Marie for him, and every now and then he'll call me and ask could I do my mix for certain artists, and I would do them. Fly back up, do the beat, and come back home.
Okay.
My nephew played mean top box too. Named Jay Hot. I don't know if you follow him or not, but he doing a lot of work with Chauncey.
Okay.
And if you follow Chauncey Black when they was in the studio like 2 weeks ago, you'll see my nephew. That's my youngest sister's son named Jay Hot Scott. Now he actually do talk box when they was on speaking terms for Teddy.
Okay. Wow.
So on some of the newer stuff, you may have think you heard Teddy, but you probably heard my nephew.
Wow. Yeah, but it's definitely been great hearing your style. I think one of the things that a lot of us would take pick from what you've said is, the sense of working. Sometimes it's great when you work with big producers who've really made their name, but there are also challenges in it as well, and challenges and the politics of music publishing credits and stuff like that, because it's not just a case of your credits being there just so that people know you did stuff, but it's about long-term royalties as well that get pushed in. I've heard from Jean Marie who mentioned the same thing about credits not being put on some of the stuff he did, but it was the kind of thing where back in those days, if they were putting an album to the Grammys, you could only have a certain number of people, but now it's different, so they could put a credit on. But the politics is really sad because it seems to split relationships and stuff. I mean, if you go ahead.
Me and John Marie went through the same thing up there. He went through it as an engineer. I went through it as a producer.
Yeah. If there were things, if you had an advice for people who were starting off as a producer in the music industry, what would be your sort of words of wisdom for, especially since you've gone through for such a long time?
It's kind of hard because I want to say just learn the business, but if you know too much of the business, then people might be scared of you because, you know, you got some people out there that want more than what they put in. Like they want theirs and yours. So but I want to say learn the business, but at the same time, kind of act like you don't know it, just to get your foot in the door. Then when you get your foot in the door, then you show them what you know. But don't go in knowing too much. Even though you may know too much, don't go in showing your all your cards.
Yeah.
Just kind of act like you don't know a little bit of it, and just get your foot in the door, because it's hard getting in that door. If you know more than the person you're trying to deal with know, then they'll shy away from you. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to the next person. Maybe I can beat them.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna say, just, you know, get your foot in the door first, then show them what you know.
But then for producers like yourself, if you're not working alongside, say, a Teddy or Timbaland, who the labels tend to go to get the big track, because they know that if they push it out under their name, they will get the radio and stuff. How then do you get a phone call to say, hey, Mucho, can you come and work on this track for Beyonce or stuff? How does that happen if you're not?
It's a long shot. I mean, but I appreciate him for giving me the opportunity to, you know, to use him to get in the door. And I know we had to use his name to do it, but, you know, if you go in there as a new artist, I mean, you got a million talented producers out there, but if they don't get that first foot in the door, you may not never hear them.
Yeah. So what's going to separate you? What do you think separates you from all the other producers out there? What do you think you do that's very unique? That's
I keep my ears glued to what's happening now. You know, even the young stuff. I wouldn't try to do a young song for me, you know, a trap song for me, but I admire it as an art. So that art keeps my ear young, and it keeps me, you know, on top of my game.
mm-hmm.
So it's like back in the day when our mom used to play Al Green.
Yeah.
And you know, we in the room, we playing Sugar Hill, and they saying, turn that racket down, you know, that's not real music.
Yeah.
And, you know, but they saying Al Green real music. But when we grow up and we play, you know, Al Green now, us, you know, Guy today, Basic Black, and our kids in the other room playing, you know, Migos, and, you know, some parents gonna say, turn that racket down. So I learned from that. I like, wait a minute, you know, when my mom saying Sugar Hill was, you know, noise, you know, when I was coming up, you know, I got to look at it a little different. So what my kids listen to, I kind of analyze it and say, you know, and admire it as an art.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about credits?
Well, the credits on the Basic Black album, Gene put the right credits on that. Gene didn't do what the Teddy Riley moved. The Teddy would say his assistant made put the wrong info on there. Gene actually put the right credits on there.
Okay.
Now Gene didn't do no credit switching. I vouch for him on that.
Okay. I think after the last big album was probably the Big Bub, My Way album. Were you on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably
I did the song My Way. Sprung, My Way Sprung, and I did Zoom.
Okay, so my Way is my, you know, one of my best. That album was one of my best albums, especially My Way, Settle Down. You know, the whole
My Way was supposed to be a 911 song.
Are you kidding me?
With Sprung, me and Levi did Sprung, and I did Zoom, the remake of the Commodores song by myself. Yeah. So I mean, I forget a lot of stuff. You got to jog my memory. Well, you know, if you jog my memory, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I worked on that album too. So,
as I said, your name is, you know, so you might talk about credits, but there's hardly anyone who's really into who bought a CD that wouldn't see your name and remember your name. So I've seen your name, I've seen Spurg's name, Ty. So you guys are very familiar without knowing who you guys are because of the credits on the album. So that's how we known you guys.
Yeah, I think my name should be on Big Bub album.
Yeah. As I said, I used to have almost 500 CDs, and so I could go back and pull out the CDs and put all your names out. We don't have CDs anymore, so only.
I do a discography for you, like a lot of stuff coming up now. Like Key Sweat, Gerald Levert, you know, it's they pop up like, oh yeah, I used to. I was on the road with LSG, and you know, Key Sweat had his own crew from Atlanta.
Okay.
And Gerald Levert had his own crew from Ohio. So when we got on the road, Gerald Levert stole me from Key Sweat. So I was hanging out with Gerald Levert and doing remixes with him, and and then you know, Key Sweat said, "Yeah, I stole one of your band members. What you gonna do?" You know, we had fun on the road, man.
Okay.
So it was all fun.
Yeah, you did. Did you do Tonight for Key Sweat, or did you do?
I did the Lil Mo remix with actually the first R&B artist to use autotune. And if you listen to the $1 Million, I Trade $1 Million on Key Sweat album, like Didn't See Me Coming. That was actually what, 1990? Or was it 1999? I think it was 99 before T-Pain came out. I think T-Pain came out later on. And if you listen to I Trade $1 Million with Key Sweat and Lil Mo, you'll hear me use auto-tune on that remix.
Oh. But was that billed as but Teddy wasn't involved in that album?
No, not Didn't See Me Coming. Key Sweat was he was Georgia based, then he was in Atlanta.
Okay.
Teddy was still in Virginia Beach.
Okay.